Thank you very much for such wonderful introduction, Marlene. Thank you for everyone today joining us. So as Cyril told, my research focus is ethnic repatriation in Kazakhstan. Ethnic return became a global phenomenon because of countries in Europe such as Germany, Spain, or Hungary, China, and Japan and South Korea in East Asia implemented such a policy whether due to the economic needs or seeking the ancestral roots. So in this paper, I particularly reveal what was the state evolution of the ethnic repatriation program and how media reacted to that. Ethnic returnees have contributed to the development of demographic policy in Kazakhstan. Now they constitute 10% of ethnic Kazakhs or 5% of total population in Kazakhstan. However, as you see from this graph, the number of ethnic returnees are decreasing now. Ethnic returnees came from 5 countries: Uzbekistan, Mongolia, China, Turkmenistan, and Russia. So, as I told, the official discourse, the state evolution of the ethnic repatriation program, revealed through analysis of laws, programs, and speeches related to the ethnic repatriation program, while press coverage was analyzed through discourse analysis of 4 nationwide newspapers: Egemen Kazakhstan in Kazakh, Kazakstanskaya Pravda in Russian are state-owned newspapers, Жас Алаш in Kazakh and Vremya in Russian are private and semi-independent newspapers. These 4 newspapers are with the highest circulation and the main readable newspapers in Kazakhstan. I selected articles related to the ethnic returnees from 1992 to October 2016 and did a discourse analysis of them. So overall, the ethnic repatriation in Kazakhstan are analyzed from a systematic perspective for the needs of the national identity. In this paper, I attempt to divide the ethnic repatriation into some small stages to show the different narrative of the state. So, at the first stage of the ethnic repatriation, invitation of the ethnic Kazakhs grounded on the idea of Kazakhstan as a homeland of ethnic Kazakhs. So, as we see from the pictures, that man is grounding the keys. Kissing the ground shows his feelings towards homeland. So at this stage, ethnic returnees served as a power legitimization and were instrumentalized by political elite to gain support among ethnic Kazakhs. So mostly homeland imagination is prevalent. When it comes to the press coverage, the newspapers in Kazakh described the ethnic Kazakhs as Khandas, which is translated as kinsman, or Bauer as a brother, and Aranjot, which is translated as a relatives. So mostly they focus on the reunification of the Kazakhs, stating them as the same group of the ethnicity. While newspapers in Russian depicted ethnic returnees as the repatriates, переселенцы or immigrants, and the лица коренной национальности, indigenous people, which was mostly, these terms are mostly was a continuation of the Soviet policy of nationality. So in the end, we can see that Kazakh newspapers focus on the ethnicity-based national development, while newspapers in Russian they continue the Soviet policy of nationality in that term. And as a nation building of any state is a dynamic process, Kazakhstan shifted towards a civic nation building. So the attention shifted from the previous phase of ethnic distinction to more encompassing and equal element of civic nation building. So at this stage, ethnic returnees lost euphoria of homeland, which was a deterrent factor from the socio-economic conditions in Kazakhstan. Their protests and dissatisfaction is increased. So they felt their privileged status is no longer valid, while the dissatisfaction, discontents, and protests was the main tool for the expression of themselves. And starting from 1997, government adopted a special law on ethnic returnees. So starting from that time, they called ethnic returnees as the Oralman, which is both in Kazakh and in Russian. But as the ethnic returnees' life in Kazakhstan was full of different problems, starting from socio-economic integration and adaptation issues, both newspapers in Kazakh and newspapers in Russian used the term Oralman from a problematic perspective. So, as you see from these newspaper titles examples, how there was a relation towards the ethnic returnees, as I hate Oralmans in Kazakhs, or does the Kazakhstan became a motherland for ethnic returnees from Mongolia? They questioned the issue of Oralman in Kazakhstan. So in the end, the term of Oralman acquired a backward, negative, and negative perspective mostly. Starting from 2009, as I'm labeling the third stage, government went to the government rethink its relationship towards the ethnic repatriation program. It is coincided with the Kazakhstan regional, territorial, and industrial development. So starting from that time, ethnic returnees utilized it for the needs of Kazakhstan economic development in the labor-scarce regions of Kazakhstan. So they became a labor source rather than ethnicity inspiration. So we see the shift of the utilization of the state at this stage. And starting from this stage, the focus shift from the Oralman issue towards the focus shift from the Oralman issues themselves towards the ethnic repatriation programs about Oralmans. So there is a difference. So that's why there is a difference between state and private-owned newspapers. So state-owned newspapers mostly promoted the program implementation in order to explain what kind of benefits program has, such as facilitate employment, socio-economic benefits, and in the end they conclude that program is fulfilled. However, private newspapers criticized the local administrative bodies. They showed to what extent informal networks and corruption issues affiliated to these programs. In the end, they concluded that the program is failed. So it shows that to what extent the state newspapers mostly give and transmit the state discourse, while private newspapers would like to show more balanced and a critical view of the program implementation. Starting in 2011, Janauzian oil workers protest occurred in West Kazakhstan, which is west of Kazakhstan was the homeland for the ethnic returnees from Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. So in this situation, the state image of stability was challenged. That's why the government need to show the conflict as need firstly depoliticize the conflict and show it is as a marginal and local rooted. In order to do that, some elite officials blamed ethnic returnees for the organization and the participation in the protests, and in the end, they used we fraction, which was consistent with the state identity, and the scapegoat out groups. So one of the scapegoat out groups became ethnic returnees. So in the end, the program was suspended. However, in 2014, Ukraine crisis took place, which was impacted to the state restart the program again in order to attract more Kazakhs to northern Kazakhstan oblasts. So as Serik told in previous presentations that northern Kazakhstan was populated by ethnic Russians, and this brought the concerns of the Kazakh government about the programs. This brought the concern of the Kazakh government as it could continue the same social ethnocultural scenario in northern Kazakhstan. So that's why the government relaunched the program again. And interestingly, as we see what the newspapers discuss about that, they started to restore the image of ethnic returnees. So state newspapers show them as to what extent they contributed to Kazakhstan economy during the 25 years, and how they became a middle-class businessmen, hardworking and successful people. While private newspapers still discuss about different problems which tackling by ethnic returnees, such as the integration and adaptation problems, registration problems, and the tensions between the returnees and the local administrative bodies, and increased protests. So this underrepresentation, marginalization, and isolation led to the ethnic returnees create their own platforms for the expression of themselves. So currently, the websites in Kazakh, which has became opinion shapers, such as Kamsha KZ or Abay KZ in Kazakh, which was established by the participation of the ethnic returnees, they led to the development of Kazakh nationalism. Apart from that, they translate their articles to Arabic script in order to be readable among Hijain Kazakhs, as they use its Arabic script, and in Latin script, as you see from the difference between the two websites in a menu platform. So, in order to be readable among the Kazakhs in Turkey and wider in Europe. So these factors, this, as I said, marginalization, isolation, and representation led to the creation of their own web platforms, which in the end led to the development of Kazakh nationalism. To sum up everything, firstly, the program shifts in the dynamics was anticipated by state due to the unplanned character of the program. Second, the state was incapable to resolve socioeconomic and adaptation issues of ethnic returnees, so they still practice transnational identity, as they are not express themselves as totally Kazakhstani citizens. And my analysis showed that ethnic returnees depicted from the reunification of Kazakhs and the continuation of the Soviet policy at the first stage. Then it shaped the problematic narrative of oral man, and then goes to the for the needs of the labor source in Kazakhstan. And the program was suspended and restarted again with restoring the image of ethnic returnees. In the end, it shows the dichotomy of translation of the consistent state ideology, and which was one of the outcomes of the balancing nation building in Kazakhstan between ethnic or civic-based nation building. And this social isolation led to the development of the Kazakh nationalism via the creation of these websites. And one of the interesting examples, the sociological survey conducted among youth in Kazakhstan showed that the young people are uncomfortable live near the couple of ethnic returnees, which was a second popular reply after they replied that we are uncomfortable live near the couple of homosexuals. So we see that to what extent this notion of oral man perceived as negative. So in a broader lens, this term or this ethnic repatriation issue show it as after the decline, it will be the main issues after the decline of Russian minorities in Kazakhstan. So the integration and adaptation of them into the Kazakh body will become one of the main important questions in the forthcoming future. Thanks for attention.